Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Cartier, and let's jump into how NBA YoungBoys baby mamas are starting to come out of the woodwork, and they are exposing him for being an absent father. We all suspected that he was an absent father. He has 14 kids and counting, and we just knew that he cannot possibly be present in all these kids' lives. They live in different states. It's just a lot. Money Yaya is fed up that NBA YoungBoy is an absent father, and he's been an absent father for the last 5 years to her son. He recently gifted Jazz Vaughn a gift, and it was a pretty big gift. It came in a trailer, and so Money Yaya heard, and she went and started tweeting. She starts by saying, "Sending a weak ass country singer a gift, but only have bought your son one gift in 5 years he's been living." And then she goes on, "I don't give a fuck about nothing y'all talking about. I'm not letting up. If I have to see it online, y'all are going to hear about it online." She even addresses other people's concern about um, her knowing what she got herself into. She says, "Talking about you knew what you signed up for. The person he is now is not the person I experienced. The person I experienced, from what I recall, definitely used to get his kids before I had mine. And we were very much so engaged when I got pregnant." And that just goes to show how these men will switch up on you. But having this, you didn't had a baby with this man who got all these baby mamas, all these kids. I just think people thought you might have, known that there's no way he could spend time with all these kids like that. But I mean, that doesn't excuse his behavior of being an absent father. You do got enough money, and you should be able to spend more than you see your kid more than once every 6 months. That's absolutely insane. But if a lot of his fans want everyone else to overlook the fact that he's a deadbeat dad, like, yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty weird that so many people is supporting someone who don't take care of their kids. He might take care of some of them financially, but all of them are not taken care of financially either. And his other baby mamas has come out as well, where like Arcola, she just recently spoke up. It just seems now that the kids are getting older, then these moms are seeing what motherhood is truly about, and how at this point they're single moms, and for the most part these kids aren't seeing their dad more than maybe a week out of the year. But even Money Yaya said it's been, her son KJ hasn't seen his dad in 6 months. And that's honestly ridiculous. Like, he was buying that his new baby mama presents and going shopping and taking her shopping, but his other baby mamas are coming out the woodwork, which they all need to speak up, instead of just like, oh, he's a celebrity, he's famous, we kind of got ourselves into this. No, that does not excuse him being an absent father, that, oh, you know what you got yourself into. Monty Yaya had to clap back at a fan that said, "YBBM's annoying as fuck. Y'all literally signed up for it." And so Money Yaya responded with, "No, what's annoying is everyone on the internet like you not holding a grown man accountable for just like accountable, just like all the yes men in his life." It's like most people want these women just to be quiet and to suffer in silence and not say anything. And I don't know why the other baby moms haven't come out to let the world know that, maybe they're embarrassed that they picked this man to be their child's father, and he is literally nowhere to be found. Honestly, it's disgusting that he has this much money. You would think he would want better for his kids, and especially the ones who are like, Money Yaya comes from money. These other women, some of them don't have it like that at all. So why is your dad a multimillionaire, and yet your mom is trying to make things happen, robbing Peter to pay Paul type of situation? Y'all drop a comment. So his baby mama Arcola came out and basically said the last time that NBA YoungBoy spoke to his son KL that he has with her, it was back in Easter of 2025, and that's almost a damn year. And she's been doing it all on her own, she said, and they basically got into an uh, uh, um, argument over him having this little cut on his finger, and his wife Jocelyn said it came from a dog. But she suspects that he was burned somehow, and that's why they fell out. And then they exchanged words online, where NBA ended up telling her, F your baby. And she went left, like any mom would, because that's his child too. So, he basically said, put him on child support. She said that she was taking care of KL for 3 years, no help financially, physically, nothing. And that's my whole thing is that, you hear some of the little stories that came out, like Jania Michelle said when she left NBA YoungBoy or they split, she left with basically the clothes on her back. So I would think, like, if you are an NBA YoungBoy fan and you are trying to be his baby mom, it has to dawn on you that you're going to be doing this by yourself. And from the other baby mama's experience, he does not help financially either. As far as he's not sending no money, and then he gets crazy when you put him on child support. His mom came out and she's not holding him accountable either. She said she's going to always support her children, other, stuff like that. But my whole deal is, when do you like tell him, like, Leo, you need to be in these kids' life, be a present father? He used to be telling these baby. Oh, Arcola did say that he always complains about his mom choosing men over her children, and he's doing the exact same thing, which his baby mama Star came out and said, like, you need to be up in your kids' face instead of all these hoes' face. And she called him a nasty bitch. I feel like both of these women, and there's another baby mom, like I'm sure other ones feel the exact same way, that they're doing this by themselves. Like, they're on solo dolo mode with their kid. Money Yaya, she said that he paid for the birthday party, or he sent her money after she exposed NBA YoungBoy for not paying for their son's birthday party. But clearly, Money Yaya is doing that shit by herself. He's not doing anything to help these kids. He's literally running around creating broken homes, and these girls, they are helping with these broken homes, because you see how he gets down. But guaranteed, within the next 2 to 3 years, there'll be another woman pregnant outside of his wife, and she'll be going through the same thing. It's like, I feel like they set themselves up for failure, because this man ain't giving them nothing, and then they have the audacity not to put him on child support. Like, the girl Arcola talking about, she did the first 3 years by herself, and she finally went and put him on some child support. And you should have been did that. I don't know why you was taking care of this little boy by yourself. I mean, I don't know what point that these women are trying to prove by doing it by themselves, but go get the child support. That's the least y'all can do. It appears that NBA YoungBoy gets a thrill out of making these babies, and then he makes the women life hell. He don't help out. He don't send money. You would just think that somebody who just made millions on tour and had millions before that could send $1,000. Even if it was here and there, because the women, they're not going after child support anyway. And I know they didn't just have this baby to get this oohs and ahs online from social, the internet people saying, oh, that's Kentrell's baby. They look like she or he looks just like him. Like, that ain't paying the bills at the end of the day. If you are one of Kentrell's baby mamas and you're listening to this, go down there and file you some child support, because it just don't make any sense that you're not holding him financially responsible for the kid that he helped create. And then he's about to keep having more and more babies. So it's not like he's just going to turn a new leaf and say, hey, I'm going to support my kids and I'm going to be a great father, or at least attempt to be. And then Jasmine, a lot of people are putting blame on Jasmine because she is his wife. I do feel like you should be at least in his ear, but it doesn't sound like she has any type of voice in that relationship at all. And she is just doing what this man says and getting, making sure her kids are straight. Granted, we don't know what type of person he is behind closed doors. All his baby mamas, except for Jania and Star, they are all clocking in, working regular jobs. That's what the rest of them are, working regular jobs, trying to support this child with no help. And a lot of women do this, whether you're Kentrell's baby mama or not. People do this in the real world, where they have this mighty, big yes I am on their shoulders, where it's like, oh, I don't need your money. I'm gonna take care of this child by myself. I feel like that's hella goofy, unless your baby daddy just don't got no type of income at all. Which, why would you have a baby by a complete loser? Who knows? But that's so goofy for a chick to be like, oh, I got this. I don't need your money. Why don't you take the money? Because this baby is expensive. This child is going to be expensive. And that's the least that these men can be doing, especially if they're absent, like how he's absent. And that just goes to show, if a man's going to be an absent father, whether he got millions, whether he don't got no money at all, that's what's inside of him. And that's who he wants to be and is going to be. And in our community, there's so many broken families, broken homes, and I feel like it's both people to blame, man and woman. It's not one more than the other. Y'all women, we need to, the women that are in this type of situation, they need to like stop playing these games with these men and having these babies, hoping they're gonna change, hoping they're gonna help you. And some women just want a baby. They don't even care if the man helps, which is sad. Your child is gonna grow up in a broken family and basically be a statistic as far as that goes because there's no dad in the family. They don't know their daddy. The daddy's a piece of shit. You just wanted to have a baby. Y'all drop a comment and let me know what you think. Peace out.